look at monopoly, monopoly is kind of like we are discussing not a monopoly, but we are discussing what we call a pure monopoly. So our monopoly is what we call a pure monopoly, which means only one firm. Okay. So when you look at only one firm, we're looking at basically monopoly to be the other end of perfect competition. In a monopoly, we are assuming there is no rivals because of, again, we're discussing what we call a single sort of firm in the market. Uh, अरुण मैंने आई थिंक मार्केट स्ट्रक्चर की वीडियो जो है ना मैंने नहीं बनाई थी सो वैसे सऊद नॉर्मल मोनोपोली यू राइट 25% ऑफ द मार्केट शेयर बट यहाँ पे हमने अज्यूम करें प्योर मोनोपोली ओके so pure monopoly means only one firm in the market so it has no rivals and our assumption is it's the only firm in the industry there are no close substitutes whatsoever and in this market we say this that the barriers to entry are so strong that there is no worry of even entry of potential rivals. So basically, you are not only a monopoly even in the short run, but also in the long run. So in our assumption that we have of a pure monopoly, where there's only one firm, no rivals, and no way of any firm to enter in the market. Okay. In this, again, when you are a monopoly, you are what we call a price setter, which means you set your own price. And depending on where you are, what your goal is, you will get to set the price and therefore the quantity. And the fact is that being a monopoly, being the only firm, you can make supernormal profit. And that supernormal profit is guaranteed both in the short run and in the long run. So being a monopoly serves you as an advantage because your strong barriers to entry do not allow new firms to enter. So the entry of new firms, which eliminates profit in the long run in a competitive market, cannot occur in the monopoly model. Does that make sense, guys? Are we good? Any questions? Okay, now let's look at equilibrium of monopoly. So when you look at equilibrium, we've done this before. When you look at equilibrium of monopoly, you are looking at downward sloping demand curve. MR, again, to be, remember when the demand curve is downward sloping, MR is below that, right? Demand curve is your AR, which is your price. This is your price. Our marginal cost is like this. And if you're a profit maximizer, MC must equals MR. Remember, MC must equals MR if you are a profit maximizer. So in this case, guys, MC equals to MR happens at Q1. So MC equals MR. And the price comes from here, which is P1. Okay, does that make sense, guys? So equilibrium for a monopoly is where MC equals MR. P1 is the price, and therefore this is a case where Q1 is the quantity. Are you all with me? Does that make sense? Now, how do we show profit here? For profit, we will draw our ATC. ये हम पहले कर चुके हैं guys when we were doing revenue and profit chapter. तो हमने downward sloping demand curve किया था. So this is my average cost curve. Okay. अभी मैं लिख देता हूँ उसको short run average cost curve. And इसको लिखता हूँ short run marginal cost curve. Because short run में क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पर? You can make profit. And this is my average cost. So you are making a profit. What is MR? Talal हमने MR किया था ना marginal revenue. हमने बोला था margin में revenue is the extra revenue from selling an extra unit of a good. इस पे हमने कहा था when the demand curve is downward sloping. इस पे हमने एक और चीज़ बनाई थी, अगर याद हो आपको, थोड़ा बेसिक सवाल पूछ रहे हैं तो मैं बता देता हूँ कि हमने बनाया था ये वाला ग्राफ, हमने टोटल रेवेन्यू बनाया था, इस तरह होता है और एमआर जो है उसका हाफ होता है, डिमांड कर्व का हाफ होता है। परफेक्ट कंपटीशन में एमआर जो है वो डिमांड कर्व होता है और यहाँ पे एमआर जो है बिलो द डिमांड कर्व होता है। मेक सेंस? So guys, how much is the profit we are making? And the answer is the profit we're making is this much, right? P profit का formula होता है P minus ATC times Q, right? So if the price is like $10, ATC is like $6, you're looking at a profit of $4 times Q is 100. Let's say अगर 100 quantity, so you're making a profit of $400 if this is 100. Now, how is this different from the long run? Can somebody tell me, anyone can tell me why, how will this equilibrium for monopoly will be different than in the long run? Can somebody tell me, any guesses? Anyone? How can your long run be different? The answer is not much different, guys. Why? Because entry of new firms won't happen. So Saud, entry of new firms won't happen in the long run. And the reason is very simple, because entry of new firms do not happen because of barriers to entry. So the only thing that I will do differently if I'm making a long run graph, मैंने copy किया short run वाले को. For the long run, the only thing I'm going to do different, I'm going to write this as long run equilibrium. And I'm going to change this from short run to, I'm going to write this long run marginal cost and long run average cost. Nothing will be different. If you have strong barriers to entry, guys, if you have strong barriers to entry, there is no way new firms can take the market away. And therefore, in this case, you will agree with me that the equilibrium will not change. Perfect competition में क्या क्यों equilibrium change होता था? Because perfect competition में new firms can enter. Either आपके पास strong barriers to entry, new firms cannot enter. Isn't the high possibility firms to enter in the long run? Exactly, Fahad, and that's exactly why I'm saying this. Because of strong, let me write this, because of strong barriers to entry, new firms won't enter. Does that make sense, Fahad? Do we agree? No, they don't change in the long run. हमारी एग्जाम्पल में यहाँ पे प्योर मोनोपोली होता है, तो हम कहते हैं कि मोनोपोली इतनी पावरफुल है कि दिस कैन नॉट चेंज. Make sense? Do we get it? Does that make sense? Are we good? Are we good, guys? Okay, moving on, guys. Just give me 1 minute. Let's just move on. And let's talk about barriers to entry now. So, guys, what are barriers to entry? Let's talk about that, because the next discussion is barriers to entry. It's a quick discussion, but I want to explain some of the really important points. क्योंकि कभी-कभार barriers to entry जो है वो MCQs में आ सकते हैं. So what are barriers to entry? Barriers to entry are basically what are the ways which makes it difficult for new firms to enter. When you look at the first barrier to entry, and the most important probably barrier to entry, is economies of scale. You know what is economies of scale? Economies of scale होता है falling long run average cost curve. So if there's a falling long run average cost curve, sometimes that happens that you are so large that you have a very low, very low average total cost. And that basically means you can charge very low price. And that basically means new firms will not be able to compete with you because your average cost is extremely, extremely low. Make sense, guys? So one of the reasons why firms fail to enter in a market because established player, established player is enjoying economies of scale. I want to draw this diagram, guys, quickly. If you look at the diagram, but I want to talk of a diagram of something called a natural monopoly. Okay, what is a natural monopoly? So by definition, a national monopoly is a monopoly that experiences economies of scale throughout the length of market demand curve. And I'll give you an example. A good example of this is what we call public utility. So let's talk about a public utility, like for example, K Electric. Why is government not keen to have more than one K Electric in the market? Because K Electric is what we call a natural monopoly. How do we show that in terms of a diagram, guys? Look at this. So please stop me if you have a question, okay, or I'm going too fast. Sorry, anyone, do you have a question? No, are we going to move on? So let's see a national monopoly. So a national monopoly की मैं definition कह रहा हूँ कि it's a monopoly that experiences economies of scale throughout the length of the market demand curve. अगर ये market demand curve है, okay? Let's say this is market demand curve for all Karachi electricity, okay? And I'm saying कि K Electric जो है उसका average cost curve अगर इस तरह का हो, so falling LRAC, okay, this is long run average cost. Falling LRAC means economies of scale. Okay. Now आपके पास ऑप्शन ये है कि let's say कि गवर्नमेंट सोच रही है कि should we have one firm in the market or should we have more than one firm in the market? If we have one firm in the market, guys, then basically your everyone, like if you look at this, guys, if you have total market size, well, let's say we have 100 sort of customers, okay? If the whole market is given to one producer, he can basically exploit the economies of scale and produce at this point B. Isn't that true? Versus if you give the market in such a manner that you divide this market into two, then basically you make the market to be half, and in this case the cost will be at point X and the price charge will be at point Y. Isn't that true, guys? This is P1 and ATC1. But जब आपने economies of scale करोगे exploit, then you will produce at point B and will be P2. So आपके पास दो ऑप्शन है. कराची को अगर आप दो हिस्सों में बांट दोगे और आप बोलोगे कि यार दोनों फर्म को 50-50 मार्केट दोगे तो कॉस्ट बढ़ जाएगी, कॉस्ट एक्स पे होगी. बट अगर आप पूरी की पूरी मार्केट, इफ यू गिव द होल मार्केट टू K Electric, one single firm, they can exploit economies of scale and they can charge a lower price. What you can tell them is this, that we allow you to be the only player in the market, but you can be producing at point B where price is equal to ATC. Okay, which means you will be making normal profit. So the idea goes is that, yeah, you can call AC ATC, exactly. I'm normally interchangeably using ATC and AC a lot because because that makes that's how it is. Make sense? Are we good? Are we good? Does that make sense, guys? Any questions? So basically, when you are a natural, के इलेक्ट्रिक वॉन्ट बी अननेशनल. के इलेक्ट्रिक के साथ मसला डिफरेंट है. नॉर्मली होता है ये, गवर्नमेंट कहती है कि जो पब्लिक यूटिलिटीज होती हैं लाइक के इलेक्ट्रिक हो गया या लाइक यूके वगैरह में होती हैं, उनको गवर्नमेंट प्राइवेट नहीं करती, उनको गवर्नमेंट रखती है पब्लिक. उसके रीजन ये होता है कि जब आप उनको नेशनलाइज करते हो तो यू कैन बेसिकली मेक देम एस एच जी सी ऑल्सो नेशनल मोनोपोली. एग्जैक्टली. सो गाइस व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट व्हेन यू कीप दीज कंपनीज nationalized, then basically you tell them कि यार प्लीज इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल को एक्सप्लॉइट करो. अब के इलेक्ट्रिक के साथ मसला डिफरेंट है. के इलेक्ट्रिक को इन्होंने नेशनलाइज से प्राइवेटाइज कर दिया. सो आई एम होपिंग के इलेक्ट्रिक इज बेसिकली मेकिंग नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट. In K Electric case, because it's a private firm, there could be a possibility that they're making super normal profit and not normal profit. Does that make sense, guys? So there could be a possibility like that. But the idea goes is that if you are a national monopoly, or if you're a firm that is exploiting economies of scale. Now, एक और सिलसिला ये भी है. Like, look at this. If you're a new firm, ठीक है, then you won't never be able to be at point B because you're too small. Your cost will always be higher. But if you're an established player, you could actually be producing it. Even if you're not a national monopoly, look at this. If you're an established player, you can produce at B. But if you're not an established player, you might be producing it only, you might only have a 25% capacity, production capacity. So you might be producing it at probably this cost. Make sense? So the fact that there is a potential of economies of scale sometimes make the new firms to not be able to match the established players' price. Got it? Makes sense? Are we good? So I'll show you the notes में जो diagram मैंने बनाया just to make it clear. So in the notes what we did was this, that we draw this diagram. We said कि अगर एक market है, sorry guys, if there's a market like this one, right? के इलेक्ट्रिक इज नेशनल मार्केट बिकॉज देखो ना, हारिस अगर के इलेक्ट्रिक को देखो, अगर के इलेक्ट्रिक पूरे मुल्क को, पूरे कराची को अगर बिजली प्रोवाइड कर रही है, अगर 2 से 3 कंपनियां आ जाएंगी तो उनकी कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन बढ़ जाएगी. डिफरेंट डिफरेंट खंबे होंगे, डिफरेंट तारे होंगी, डिफरेंट मीटर होंगे, डिफरेंट वो होंगे, आपके जनरेटिंग पॉइंट्स होंगे, एंड देयरफॉर इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल जो है वो नहीं होगी. समझ आ रही है? मार्केट बढ़ जाएगी, कंज्यूमर बेस बढ़ जाएगी, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. Guys, so it is a national monopoly, but it's a privatized national monopoly, which is very rare to see. Now, guys, look at this. इधर अगर आप 12 फर्म्स रखेंगे, if there were 12 firms, जिनके बीच में 240 बटेगा, तो 12 firms times 20 units means 240 is the output. But each firm will have a cost at point A. Make sense? And therefore there will be the cost will be $7. But अगर आप मार्केट को एक फर्म को दे दोगे तो एक फर्म बनाएगी पूरा का पूरा 240 और उसकी कॉस्ट हो जाएगी $2. सो बिजली आपकी जो है वो $2 पे बिकेगी फॉर 240 यूनिट्स, वर्सेस बिजली आपकी $60 पे बिकेगी by which is being sold by 12 farms. Okay, so this is a case where Rather than having 12 firms making 20 each, you have one firm making 240, and we exploit economies of scale to happen. Got it? So that's another way of looking at it. ये वन फर्म जो है बाय द वे अगर प्राइस को $2 कर देगी तो कोई और फर्म भी नहीं बैठ पाएगी बिकॉज ओनली वन फर्म कैन देन बी कंट्रोलिंग द मार्केट. Make sense? So this is the first point that I want to make. The second point that I want to make is basically sometimes you have other sources of economies of scale. So I want to quickly go over this. कौन से other sources होते हैं? Just to quickly reiterate all the points. एक और economies of एक और barrier to entry होता है. Another barrier to entry is what we call network economies. Sometimes as a firm you have a huge network. A good example of this could be your Facebook. अगर आपको फेसबुक से compete करना है, you need to create another network like that. Or for example, Microsoft Windows has a network. Or for example, आप बोल सकते हो कि भाई जी वारिद और Mobile Link has a network, which is a lot of people are on the same network and sometimes उसका भी advantage मिलता है आपको. Although not so much, पर पहले होता था कि price बड़ी different होती थी. Or for example, file readers के लिए अभी आप Acrobat use करते हो. Or for example, sometimes some airlines have interconnecting routes. Like for example, Qatar might have a good partnership with, for example, another airline. So उसकी वजह से they are able to sort of cover routes. Network economies basically means that sometimes the product or service is used by so many people in the market that there are benefits of all users from having access to other users. Like for example, if you are on Facebook, you don't want to be on another social network because all your friends are on the same network. If you're like an iOS user, you want to be in the same sort of Apple kind of like environment and so on and so forth. Make sense? Another sort of what you call it barrier to sort of entry is what we call economies of scale. Economies of scale is an argument which says that sometimes a firm is making so many products that it ends up having a lower average cost than other people. A good example of this is like, for example, let's say अगर Cedar example लेते हैं. Cedar जो है अगर for example market कर रहा है अपना A level program और Cedar के पास let's say अभी O levels भी है और let's say Cedar primary में भी चला जाए and all that. For example, although Ivy is the primary for, but let's say Cedar चला जाए for example, तो Cedar के पास multiple brands होंगे जिनको आप कह सकते हैं कि one single marketing campaign can serve all the brands. Versus if you're a new company, you might not have that advantage to begin with. Make sense? So that could be one. I mean, or Toyota, when you market Toyota, automatically all the brands or all the cars under Toyota will be benefiting. Is that what you're saying also, sir? Or Nestle is a great example. Nestle दूध भी बेचता है, chocolate बेचता है, Nestle yogurt बेचता है. So it is it has a lower, for example, cost of marketing, cost of storage, cost of transportation than other companies क्योंकि simply एक ही चीज बेचती हो. Does that make sense? So there is a big advantage when it comes to you being the only player in the market, you being a player which has many products in the market. Does that make sense? Are we good? Any questions, guys? Quickly, other barriers to entry, because this is an easy discussion. The other, I'll go back to this RS later. Guys, the other advantages that you are looking at when it comes to, for example, sorry, Fahad, what's your question? What's the container principle, Fahad? Tell me about it. What's the container principle? Okay, moving on, guys. Fahad, you can explain what your container principle is in 1 minute. Let me go back to other things. Sometimes product differentiation and brand loyalty become like a point. Like, for example, right now, if you look at Coke or if you look at, for example, Like Pepsi, they have a strong brand loyalty, which is basically making it difficult for you to enter. Or, for example, if you look at in Pakistan, Unilever sells Surf, right? Although Surf is a name of a brand, but when you look at when you look at the category is also called the detergent category, or is also called Surf in Pakistan, or Pamper is basically a product, but the category is also called Pampers. So what I'm saying is just that when you have a strong brand loyalty or product differentiation, new firms will find it difficult to enter. Make sense? Fahad is saying when the size increases by two, the volume increases by more than two, therefore they have lower costs. Very good. That's actually a good idea that, like, and that actually uh, allows us to basically make sure that our cost of transportation, everything else goes down significantly because of that. Are we good to move on? So Fahad, I agree with you. This is basically, like, if as a firm, when you are increasing your size, you are your when sometimes you are increasing the volume of the business, uh, the transportation costs and other costs can actually go down significantly. Okay. The other point is also, guys, when you're looking at lower costs for an established firm, uh, fixed cost spreads are very good. So fixed cost spreads are that marketing cost is fixed cost. Um, Another basically, guys, important thing that sometimes happens is when you're established firm, you know a lot more than not so established firm, and that is also kind of like makes it cheaper for you. You know the right suppliers, you know the right vendors, you know the right sellers and buyers, and so on and so forth. And therefore, you might have that knowledge which makes you uh, compete better with other firms out there. Make sense? Sometimes also you have key ownership or ownership over key inputs. Like, for example, in the A level market, I believe anyone who has the ownership of the right faculty might be the one who will be owning control of the market. And that's what Feeder and like Mixer and probably some other schools try to do. They try to sort of get hold of the right teachers, the best teachers, and therefore control the market. A new firm might find it difficult to enter easily because they will be like they don't have the right faculty, or they might not be able to acquire the right faculty. Make sense? Are we good? So that could also be a barrier to entry. Last one, guys, there are many others, but the one that I want to discuss is sometimes legal protection. Sometimes you get a patent. Like अभी भी जो आपके vaccines आ रहे हैं, जो आपके vaccines आ रहे हैं, for example, the one made by Moderna, or the one made by, for example, Pfizer and all that, they will all apply for patent. Once they get a patent, they will get a right to produce, and they will be making a lot of money because the whole world will be using those vaccines for the COVID. And that sometimes becomes a barrier to entry for new firms. So new firms may not get the barrier the patent to begin with. Make sense, guys? Are we good? Any questions? Okay, so tomorrow's class, guys, we will focus on, we've done with the equilibrium as well. Tomorrow, guys, class, I'm going to talk about pros and cons of monopoly. Okay, do we have any questions? Do we have any question, guys? हारिस, आपका सवाल था ये वाला कि इसका ग्राफ को वापस बताने का. सो हारिस, इसमें हो ये रहा है, मैंने बोला है कि अगर एक फर्म होगी तो वो 240 यूनिट्स बनाएगी और उसकी कॉस्ट जो है वो $2 होगी. बट अगर इस मार्केट को 12 फर्म में बांट दूंगा तो 240 divided by 12 means every firm will be making 20 units and the cost will be $7. So rather than having 12 firms making um, 20 units each, you have one firm making 240 units, and the cost is going down by $5. So what we argue is that cost will be ridiculously low. Saud test is only on cost, yes. Okay, guys, I'm done. I'll see you guys tomorrow then. Thank you very much. Haris, the first diagram is also the same diagram. First diagram में भी वही हो रहा है जो पहले हो रहा था. फर्स्ट डायग्राम में जो हमने किया था, जस्ट टू शो यू अगेन, फर्स्ट डायग्राम में भी वही है कि अगर आपकी एक फर्म वर्सेस दो फर्म वर्सेस चार फर्म, so the diagram is the same. Today's diagram is, oh, you're talking about equilibrium वाला diagram. Equilibrium वाला diagram तो ये हमारा उससे आ रहा है, price setter वाला diagram है. This is price setter वाला diagram. इधर जो हो रहा है, इधर आपका सेम डायग्राम बनाया यहाँ पे. दिस इज द सेम डायग्राम, ओनली डिफरेंस इज के यहाँ शॉर्ट रन लिखा है वर्सेस लॉन्ग रन लिखा है. दोनों जगह पे आपका सुपर नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट हो रहा है. मेक सेंस? सो दिस इज बेसिकली प्राइस सेटर डायग्राम. दिस इज फ्रॉम दैट प्राइस सेटर डायग्राम. ओके, thank you guys. Take care. Bye bye.